These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
We can talk about Marcus
We should
Smart.
let's stop on the bench for a minute because I wrote about it today.
Okay.
So I have
Let's
some
talk-
stats
let's talk
for
Celtics
you. How about
bench then.
that?
Hit
I
me with the
texted Jack
stats
today
about
and
the
I said,
Celtics
Jack,
bench.
how do I look to see who the top bench scoring teams in the league are? And I finally figured it out. Like there's a thing you can toggle that just says just bench.
Yeah,
so
bench or
I found
starters.
it. Believe it or not, the Celtics like 13th or something like that in bench scoring.
Really?
They have 33
Okay.
a game. However, the thing that is going to be like, okay, yeah, I was right about this, is they are the second most efficient bench
Yeah.
behind only Portland. And from 3, they are the most efficient bench at 44%. And that's by 6 points over number 2, which is
As
Chicago.
in 44 versus 38%?
Yes.
Is the difference?
They
Wow.
are 6% better than the next best team.
Wow.
So that reliability from the bench scorers makes it so much easier on Joe Mazzulla if he has to rest somebody. If somebody
Mazzulla ball.
is injured, they don't feel as pressured. It adds into the next guy up mentality on the team that we talked about earlier, to where you can plug and play guys and it doesn't matter because they're all so efficient. You can trust those guys and they all trust each other, which goes into the ball movement. And it makes it easier on the stars because when they're in there, everybody around them can shoot and they're not going to be able to they're not going to have to face as much health defense because the defense can't leave these guys. Everybody's benefiting from it in all kinds of different ways. Multiple ways for some guys.
Yeah, no, I mean 100%. I have no counter argument because there really isn't a counter argument to what you're saying. This Celtics bench has been
Destroyed.
absolutely
Nothing.
phenomenal.
No devil's advocate from Jack, which he loves.
Well,
he loves the devil's advocate.
I do. I'm a big devil's advocate, but like,
well, the thing is, I'm usually the anti 3-point guy, so he's really got nothing.
No, but like, what is the devil's advocate for that? Right? Like, you're just correct. Like,
no, it's just facts.
Been
it's literally. I'm telling you statistics.
Exactly. And the biggest thing for me is I want to point to this. The first year Jayson Tatum made the All-Star team, which you can sort of count as the first year of him sort of starting to take over as that number one option for the Celtics, was 2019-2020, which obviously got cut out by the bubble. Pre-COVID and some during COVID play. But I want to read you who their top bench guys were that season. Excuse me.
I want to do it.
You want to guess?
Brad Wanamaker, Ojale was there.
Yeah.
Tice was off the bench that year.
Yes, he
Baines wasn't around anymore.
Daniel Tice was a full-time starter that
year.
He
was a starter. That's right, because Horford left. You're absolutely right. Oof. Who was the backup big?
So,
Grant was playing backup big.
He was. I'll tell you the starters at least. Tice, Kemba, Tatum, Brown, and then Hayward and Smart kind of split it. Like, Smart played 40 of his 60 games in the starting lineup. So I'm going to count him as like a starter effectively. So those are the 6 quote unquote starters. Past that, you got Brad Wanamaker, you got Shemi, you got Grant Williams. There is another one.
I mean, Langford was on that team, but he wasn't playing.
Nope, he didn't play. He only appeared in 32 games.
Tremont Waters was on that team.
Tremont Waters only played in 11 games.
There was talk of like, oh, they want him, people wanted him to overtake Wanamaker as the next guy up. I mean, Carson Edwards was on that team, but he wasn't playing.
Mr. Ennis Freedom played 58 games.
I forgot he was on that team. That's who the backup was.
Yep. Rob played 29 games in limited minutes.
Rob was
Javonte Green got a couple stints here and there for the Celtics. But yeah, Shemi Ojale played 69 games for the Celtics that year, 15 minutes a night.
There was high hope for Ojale. He had potential.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He truly had potential.
There was.
His role was something that he could be able to fit into. He just never did.
There was tweets, and I've seen people, say a lot. Shemi Ojale walked so Grant Williams could run, which is effectively.
It's true. He was Grant Williams is what they hoped Shemi could be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But Wanamaker was the 7th highest minutes getter. He was the 7th man in the rotation that year. The 7th man in the rotation this year, what is it? He's Derek White.
Brogdon,
right? Let me double check. Let's compare it that way, I guess. And again, this is Tatum's first year as an all-star versus this year, where the Celtics, by the way, are 17-4, which is about as good as you could ask for, Sam. I know you can say they should have won all the games, and they should have
won all the
those other 4
games.
games.
They literally should have won all the games.
But we know that's not possible, and so there's not much more you could have asked for so far from the Celtics. They played very well. But comparisons, 1-2, 1-2, both Tatum, both Brown, Smart and Al Horford were both in the top 5 as well. Obviously, Hayward and Kemba are gone. We can say they were effectively replaced by or Horford, I guess here. But to put it in perspective, when you get down into the grid of it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on that 2019-2020 Celtics team, Tice, Wanamaker, Freedom, Grant Williams, and Ogilvy. This year, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, Sam Hauser, Luke Kornet, Blake Griffin down there, and Grant Williams up to number 5, and Robert Williams hasn't played a single minute for the Celtics. Like, the difference is absolutely ridiculous, and you're seeing why the Celtics have the best, depth in the league. Is that too much to say? Do we think they have the best depth in the league? You think it's true?
Close.
Okay.
Who's close?
Who's
close?
Once they get healthy, I think the Clippers are close.
All right.
I think that is a team that could be close. I think
Fair.
I think the Bucks have some okay depth. I think there's a solid as well. You talk about Bobby Portis off the bench. Once they get healthy, Bobby Portis, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton. I think they've got decent depth down there. Javon Carter's having a really good season. I'm not saying they're better than the Celtics. I'm just saying if we're looking at other teams around the league who could potentially stack up, the Pelicans have some decent depth. I agree that this is where the devil's advocate me is coming out. But the Celtics bench, my point is,
well, I asked
for
examples. I truly didn't know. I truly don't know. I don't think anybody's close, and I'm kind of right.
I think that the best options you got, or the best potential, teams to look at: Pelicans, Grizzlies, Clippers, Bucks. I think those are the only really ones you could look at and say, okay, maybe this team has better depth. But even then, it's kind of hard to surpass the Celtics on that list.
I mean, Brogdon and Derek White are better than anybody on those benches by far.
Yeah,
anybody.
Yeah,
they're better.
Yeah,
they're better.
You can make that argument.
Grant Williams might be better than them.
That's true. He's started now, though. He's not
a starter when Rob comes back.
Are you sure?
Yes, positive.
Okay. All right, I was just asking.
They're gonna do double asking. Who's going to the bench? If not Grant, Horford,
Rob for now. I think Rob to start at least.
Well, when Rob's like 100%.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I got you.
Taco, come on. Taco.